Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel. Rajkumar. Here are today's headlines. South Trinidad's emergency capacity gets a major boost as firefighters themselves renovate and reopen the Princestown Fire Station. That's good news. Wonderful news. In Tobago, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine publicly slams the Division of Education over delayed school repairs or ordering island-wide inspections ahead of the new term. It should have never taken so long to renovate those schools. And Fali, why are you now aware of this? You should condemn yourself as well. In Bequia, work kicks off on an EC $3 million EU-funded restoration of the Port Elizabeth Fish Market in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, of course. And in international news, proceedings are halted after an armed man caught with security notes near Donald Trump's California golf course is found mentally unfit for trial. Details in the news up next. Emergency response times in South Trinidad received a major boost on Wednesday with the official reopening of the Princestown Fire Station. The restored facility restores localized fire and rescue services to the region after a shutdown that lasted more than 2 years. That was ridiculous. But of course, we have to blame the mighty muffin guy I am, coal pot bicycle, no ham, no macaroni pie, hold strain, tighten your belt, make the ultimate sacrifices for your country. You can't blame UNC for that, you know. The station covers roughly 620 square kilometers, protecting 56 surrounding communities and a population of around 118,000 people. Local residents, government officials, and fire officers gathered to celebrate the return of the essential service. 2 years, you know, people. Wow. Speaking at the opening, Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander. Gosh, boy. I mean, this is good news, but Roger ain't fit for the job. Explained that the temporary station was built for under 230,000 TT. Temporary? That sounds like small money to the government. That's a whole lot of money for us, you know. Anyhow, he recommended members of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service he commended members of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service for taking the initiative to renovate the former unemployment relief program building themselves. They took it upon themselves. So they're desperate. They want a fire station. Firefighters handle the vast majority of the physical labor to get the structure fully operational. Well, I mean, that's saving money in the sense of, most likely they would have been doing it while on duty, but you didn't have to end up hiring a whole set of different labor, which would have cost a lot more money. Laborers. Saving public funds while restoring critical coverage to the area. A permanent home for the fire station remains undecided due to serious geotechnical issues at the original site. So why you can't build one where this temporary one is located? Minister Alexander noted that soil instability behind the previous location makes construction a permanent building costly and risky. Alrighty then, you sound like Philip now. Engineers are currently studying whether the ground can be stabilized long-term, but the government is actively looking into alternative locations if the original site proves unstable. Well, yeah, you have to have somewhere else and have unstable soil in that whole area. Looking ahead, the ministry is assessing other underserved regions across the country with Moruga highlighted as a top priority. Officials recognize that the distance between Princestown and Moruga is far too fast for fast emergency responses, prompting plans for a new substation in that area. So most likely people have to be waiting hours in order to be able to get service assistance. To support this nationwide expansion, the government is currently recruiting 145 to 200 new fire officers and working to acquire new fire tenders for stations across Trinidad and Tobago. Good news, really good news. But I mean, come on. At the end of the day, you can't just leave the people with this temporary thing for what? For the next 3.5 years, though. Find somewhere to be able to build a new fire station.
No, it's not a permanent structure. This was the old URP building. And the fire officer said, you know what? We can do something with this to serve the people. And we really want to commend the officers because I understand and I saw for myself that they would have done the brunt of the work, So the fire service did the brunt of the work. We might not move from the location it is. We just need to do some extra work, which will be very costly because the earth is shifting to the rear. So we don't want to just put up something in the next 2 years. We have to move it. And so we have to look at how we can fix it to get a permanent base. And if not there, we look for somewhere else. We are in consultation. Again, speaking to the Prime Minister is a concerned person. She loves to serve the people. So what she's doing, she's asking, what can we do? And ask the question if this distance is enough to really provide the type of service that we want. From here to Moruga. And the fire officer said, no. So we'll have to do something about Moruga. Even if to put a substation or something along those lines. As we speak, Saturday there was exams for fire officers. And I think we're looking at 200 and how much? Oh, how much? 145 initially. Recruits to join the service. We are trying to supply tender to all fire stations. It's an expensive, tedious task, but to get it done, we have to.
Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has publicly reprimanded the Division of Education for failing to start its annual school repair program on time. Yeah, but you're telling me you don't have a way to be able to try to at least demand that they keep you updated during the holiday season. You know, find out like the rest of us. The criticism follows concerns raised on Monday by Dion Rodriguez, the Tobago officer for the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association tutor. Yeah, but tutor as well. You all now recognize this too? Everybody, I tell you, it's a banana republican in Trinidad and Tobago. Rodriguez reported that recent inspections revealed several schools showed no signs of ongoing work. Craziness. That is ridiculous. In response, Education Secretary Orlando Kerr admitted to the delays, citing severe human resource shortages. Always finding a way to be able to make excuses, I'm talking about Trinidadian politicians, Tobagonian politicians too. Trinbagonian politicians. Kerr explained that repair efforts will now spill over into the first term of the academic year, which that should have never taken place, with workers completing tasks on weekends and after school hours. Chief Secretary Augustine rejected these explanations, highlighting that the THA had already released $13.7 million out of the allocated $20 million budget for work plan since May. May, people. Yes, he's right to be furious, but I'm telling you, like how Irfan Ali is always telling his ministers and so forth, keep me updated on what is taking place. What you were doing, Fali? You were sleeping on the job? Expressing deep frustration, Augustine stated he had to personally step in to chastise key officials for their slow delivery. But that is good news, though, that at least he's holding his own people, his officials, accountable. I find Kamala supposed to be doing a whole lot more here in Trinidad. To address the fallout, he ordered Secretary Kerr to collaborate with tutor on an island-wide inspection of every school to evaluate their readiness. Despite the setback and a last-minute push to clean the facilities, Augustine maintained that officials have assured him all schools will open on time for the September 7th term. Beyond the educational sector, Augustine warned that widespread administrative inefficiency and slow procurement processes continue to undermine the THA. And he will end up getting blamed for it, of course. He cited recent failures, including the cancellation of the Independence Day fireworks tenders due to missed deadlines, as well as delays by the Division of Infrastructure in providing basic vacancy lists. Well, that's a whole different topic that I covered on the other channel. You should never have been firing the 10-day workers. Dismissing claims that new procurement laws are to blame, Augustine insisted that regulations must not serve as an excuse for failing taxpayers. He's right about that. He declared that accountability rests on every level of leadership. I hope you know that, including you, Farley. From the division secretaries down to individual workers, and hinted at upcoming performance reviews in November what could result in team adjustments if systems do not improve. Yes, remove those who are incompetent from office. It's as simple as that. Farley.
Trinidad and Tobago weather forecast for Friday, August 28, 2026. Mostly fair, bright, and breezy conditions are expected across Trinidad and Tobago during the day, with a high temperature reaching 32 degrees Celsius. The night will be fair to partly cloudy with a low of 24 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius. The day will be generally sunny with occasional hazy spells, though a few isolated light or moderate showers are possible. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service notes an extended outlook with a low 20% chance of an odd heavy shower. The high humidity will make it feel like up to 35 degrees Celsius during peak afternoon hours. A very high UV index of 8 to 10 is expected, so ensure you apply sun protection if you plan to be outdoors between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Moderate easterly winds will keep things breezy, pushing up to 8 miles per hour. Open waters will remain moderate with wave heights around 1.5 meters.
Work has officially begun on major restoration of the Port Elizabeth Fish Market in Bequia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, following a groundbreaking ceremony held yesterday. The project, which carries a price tag of around EC $3 million, is being financed through grant funding provided by the European Union. Once completed, the upgraded facility is set to directly support about 250 local fishers and vendors. Senior Fisheries Assistant Lorenzo George explained that the primary goal of the renovation is to bring the market up to modern health, safety, and quality standards. Like our markets here in Trinidad and Tobago, in Trinidad at least I know for sure, most of the markets need upgrading. Additionally, the project aims to strengthen the structure so it can better withstand harsh weather and severe storms in the future, hurricanes, or even other types of storms. Fisheries Minister Conroy Hoggins highlighted the urgent need for the project, noting that the old building had significantly deteriorated over the years. He emphasized that the upgrade is a vital investment in the people of Bequia and the broader fisheries sector, designed to improve the livelihoods of fisherfolk throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Today, as I said, marks an important step forward for the people of Bequia, and particularly for our fishing community. The rehabilitation of the Port Elizabeth Fish Markets, now referred to as the Bequia Fish Markets, is more than improving the physical structure. It is about recognizing the contribution of fishers, supporting local livelihoods, and ensuring that the infrastructure serving this important sector is fit for purpose. Through the Biospace project, we have an opportunity to create a facility that is cleaner, safer, more resilient, and better suited to the needs of the community. And all of that has been taken into account.
The rehabilitated facility will provide approximately 2,856 square feet of modern functional space with dimension of approximately 51 feet in length by 56 feet in width. So as you can see in the drawings, it has 2 floors. The first floor, or the ground floor, would include a fish processing and cleaning area. We will have a freezer that will be compatible to work as a chiller. We'll also have an ice machine, a fish supply shop, and office space. On the first floor, we'll have the administrative office, a conference room, and a number of male and female restroom facilities. This facility has been designed to improve the entire fish handling process, from landing, processing, cleaning to storage and the sale of fresh fish here in Beckway. The rehabilitation works have been undertaken with a strong focus on three key areas: safety, quality, and resilience. The works will include reinforcement concrete in the foundation that will include columns and beams, stainless steel windows, high-density polyethylene doors with marine-grade stainless steel hardware, a new plumbing and electrical system, and a water storage system, which is critical for the facility.
International news now. An armed man arrested at President Trump's California golf course allegedly had Melania Trump's schedule and more than 200 pages of notes on Secret Service personnel and security. How did he obtain that information? That's an important question. Is there someone, a mole? Is there someone within the Trump administration that is leaking information? Do they want harm to be brought upon the President of the United States of America? What is going on there? Strange, but maybe the man is just a hacker or something like that. I don't know. Prosecutors say John Tail was spotted taking photos and videos while appearing to monitor security preparations ahead of Trump's visit. He wanted to assassinate Trump, most likely. Deputies allegedly found a loaded pistol and ammunition. Yep, not most likely. Definitely so. While a later search of his home turned up an illegally modified AR-style rifle, body armor. He was looking for war and more ammo. A judge called the case alarming, but proceedings are now on hold after Tail was found mentally unfit to stand trial. It is totally absurd. It is crazy how the world, I think even here in Trinidad and Tobago, allow a lot of people to end up getting sentences that aren't as harsh simply because they plead insanity. You commit murder, it's either crime of passion, nonsense, or insanity, and then they end up either spending time in a mental institution or getting set free. But most of the times, we wouldn't be set free, though. You'll end up in a mental institution. But then how long they're going to remain in the mental institution for? No, let them serve time in prison. That's where they're supposed to be. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that he personally encouraged U.S. President Donald Trump to tighten the siege on Iran during a meeting at the White House. What Netanyahu needs to explain to Trump is that you cannot negotiate with terrorists. There's only one way to deal with terrorists, and that's by using force. Speaking at an event in Jerusalem, Netanyahu stated that he presented 3 strategic options to Washington regarding Tehran: pursuing a diplomatic agreement, which makes no sense, conducting direct military strikes, or increasing severe economic pressure. I don't think those other 2 make any kind of sense. It's only the physical force, the strikes, will be successful. The other one, severe economic pressure, all that does is cause the people of that country to suffer. And the Ayatollah regime, the Ayatollah jihadists, radical jihadists, will just remain in office no matter what. Dismissing the viability of a diplomatic solution with Iranian leadership, the Israeli Prime Minister voiced support for economic isolation. Yeah, but I don't think that's a good idea either. Linking his proposal to newly announced U.S. sanctions aimed at Iran's technology, shipping, and trade networks. What they're probably hoping for is that there will be an uprising in Iran. But then a lot of people are going to lose their lives, a lot of people, if there is an uprising. And then it will end up being successful too. The calls for heightened pressure come as global attention remains fixed on the Strait of Hormuz, a critical maritime trade corridor for global oil supplies. While Washington recently expanded sanctions targeting third parties assisting Tehran, Iranian authorities continue to assert control over the waterway. That's because Trump playing games with them. Despite recent diplomatic efforts involving regional mediators like Oman to establish temporary shipping passages, Iranian officials maintain that the strait will not fully reopen until the United States lifts its economic restrictions. The coordinated campaign reflects an effort by both leaders to restrict Tehran's financial and operational capabilities through maximum economic enforcement. While President Trump signaled that economic measures currently take priority over major military escalation, Netanyahu reaffirmed that Israel remains prepared to act decisively if attacked directly by Iranian forces, and that ain't going to change. And not even Trump is going to be able to tell them, cease fire, cease fire. The geopolitical standoff continues to disrupt international shipping lanes and fuel economic uncertainties worldwide.
Jesus enters a house filled with loud music and weeping. Even in the chaos of grief, divine purpose is about to unfold. Watch.
She is not dead, but sleeping.
Jesus steps in, takes her hand, and restores her life instantly. News of this unbelievable miracle spreads across the entire land.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.